Let's open Jedi Master INDARA. Can I start by saying, I'm obviously not a carded collector. I think this is just a beautiful use of color, design, and carding. Look at that. Look at that. That's great. The green, the kind of, I want to say like pea soup yellow, the angle, blade. This is really nice. This is a really nice one. If I was going to keep a vintage collection figure on a card, well, it wouldn't be this one, it would be one of the Rays, but this is good still. This is very good. Jedi Master INDARA is VC345. Here she comes. Lovely. I gotta say, probably not an intentional choice, but the fact that the cloak is fully wrapped around her in the package, I think also really works for the look. And I recognize that because I use an iPhone to shoot these, the image quality isn't as good as it needs to be, but once again, fantastic likeness of Carrie-Anne Moss on this figure, just tremendous. Now, I don't want to make a false claim here, but I do feel like this is a thinner robe material than we've had before. Like, that is extremely lightweight fabric. Ideally will help it drape in a slightly more realistic fashion than we're used to on vintage collection Jedi robes. And look at that hood. Jesus. If the forthcoming Ben Kenobi comes with a cloak that is this realistic for the scale, there's always going to be this poofiness on, see that spit? There's always going to be this poofiness on the shoulder just because of the fabric weight, but that's getting to be, as I imagine, about as good as it can get in terms of just simulating a 6 foot tall adult with a 3 3/4 inch figure. That's really, really good. Jeez, wow, okay. Unlike Dedra, she's actually reasonably stacked for accessories. She comes with her ignited lightsaber. That's an obvious one. She comes with her unignited lightsaber. And she comes with a third thing. I don't know what the third thing is. I'm gonna go ahead and assume it's a comlink, and it's so small. Hello, new lost object alert. This is gonna go to the bottom of my accessories bin someday and never come out. I will say, it's really a shame that this figure doesn't come with a bowl of noodles, because that would have been a lot of fun, but no such luck. Goes on her belt there, very good. For the lightsaber, very good. And, again, vintage collection excellence. There are copper highlights on the paint job for the lightsaber hilt, which is a really nice pop of color. High Republic lightsabers are so cool. So that's a pretty nice little detail there. I'm really impressed by this robe. That is very, very good. So there she is, just in her noodle eating mode. I'm obviously going to try posing her with the lightsaber too, because I'm really interested to see if we can do the pose from the card. INDARA doesn't wield much in the show, but that is kind of a signature moment in the first episode where she faces off against May. And that would be a hard stance for a vintage collection figure to hold. So let's see if we can get that done. I wonder, again, I'm not enough of a hawk on this stuff. Maybe one of you guys can tell me, but that looks like entirely new parts, right? Definitely new tunic, definitely new belt. Maybe the legs are reused from somewhere. I couldn't tell you where, if so, but I guess they could be. So she's holding her right arm at a right angle and left arm very high elbow, but that's not far off. Oh, maybe. Oh yeah, pretty good. I just want to take a moment for the sheer level of technological sophistication that goes into producing anything that can do that at that size and with that level of screen fidelity. Madness. I am on the record as saying I think the vintage collection is more complicated than it needs to be, but when these guys step up to do this, they hit it. That would have been an unimaginable level of articulation even, I want to say 10 years ago. So beautifully done. That's going right up there on the shelf next to the other Acolytes. Well done, Hasbro. I believe Jord Fandar is the last Acolyte figure that has been announced for the vintage collection so far. He will be arriving in, well, theoretically in May, but we'll see what actually happens. And I'm still holding out hope that the Stranger will show up. I think at this point I have to abandon hope that Jackie will be added to the collection. Although I guess, you never know. They did her in the Black Series. I mean, they have all of the design elements. They just would need to do the tooling. So I guess it's still possible. Fantastic work. This is definitely, man, it's only February, but that is going to lead the year for excellence in TVC. And again, that cloak really gives me hope for Ben Kenobi having a decent cloak. Well done, Hasbro. Beautiful. Check back next week. One more figure in this wave to open. That is Anakin Skywalker from Ahsoka. Please like and subscribe on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll talk to you next Tuesday.